Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. President William Samoei Ruto is a very angry president. Things are not working the way he plans them. And after the Wednesday's demonstrations, William Ruto has been taken aback. He is humiliated. He is confused. He doesn't know how to move to the next step. The people that I sympathize with are those who are around William Ruto, those who have been given the responsibility to deal with Raila Odinga and the entire Azimio fraternity. Before the Wednesday's demonstrations, William Ruto had sent a stern warning that he was not going to entertain any kind of malicious damage to property and life. And from all quarters, some people thought that Raila would chicken out and call off the demonstrations. Kindiki is one person who finds himself in the middle of all this saga, in the middle of all this quagmire. At some point, he had given the demonstrations a green light and affirmed that Azimio is allowed to protest as long as they confine themselves to the constraints of the dictates of our constitution. But the latest information is that he's now calling for the arrest of Raila Odinga. You see, Wednesday's protest came against a backdrop of several things. The government had actually underestimated the magnitude and the impact of this demonstration. They thought it would be one that people would go around just, running and singing as usual and come back. But what we witnessed yesterday is not just a demonstration. That was nondescript. Because even in places that have never witnessed such fierce demonstrations, shocked the nation. Places like Machakos went on rampage, and the police were caught in the middle of the melee, running away from angry demonstrators. But what really shocked everyone was the attempt by the police to arrest Raila Odinga or to confine him under house arrest. Because in the morning, when the demonstrations were still just trying to find the foundation in several corners and parts of this country, we were alerted to the fact that policemen were sojourning around Raila's home, and they tried to kind of surround Raila's current home. Many experts are asking one question. What informed the decision by the police to go and kind of cordon Raila's home? Because the police always act under order. It means that some people sat down, discussed, and gave a command that the police should go and surround Raila's home. What was the motive? There could only be two reasons. One, they wanted to confine Raila Odinga under house arrest so that he does not go out as the leader of all these protests. Number two was to allow him to come out and arrest him. Now, this is the basis of Ruto's anger, because it is very clear that there was stern warning. There were intentions to arrest Raila Odinga. This backfired. It was a fiasco, and William Ruto is not happy by the security apparatus. He's not happy with Kindiki, the interior CS. William Ruto is not happy with Inspector General Japhet Koome. But I sympathize with Kindiki and the entire security apparatus, because this is beyond them. Yesterday, before the security men went to cordon Raila's home, the intelligence from the police, the intelligence from the military had already informed Raila that some people are coming to disturb you in your home. And Raila had long left his current home. And so the policemen went there, camped there for some times. They didn't see Raila Odinga. There's nothing they could do. They could not ascertain whether he was inside the home or he had gone. Because one grave mistake that they could not attempt even to do was to break into Raila's home, because you know the impact. So as much as William Ruto is getting angry with Kithure Kindiki and the entire body that is managing the security, he must understand that Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga still enjoy some amount of intelligence leaks from the military, from the police, because they are men and women of goodwill who do not want this country to plunge into some political quagmire. They are our relatives. They are our people. I always say that we didn't inherit or invite our security operators from any country. We didn't import them. They are part and parcel of this nation. The security itself is divided right in the middle. There are those who feel that Raila is being mistreated for nothing because he is speaking the language of the people. If you have witnessed of late, Raila Odinga has abandoned the calls to open the server. What Raila is talking about today is the cost of living, because he understands that this is touching the people's hearts. From all corners of this country, people are suffering. The cost of living is high. The basic commodities have got their prices skyrocketing every second. With the passage of the Finance Bill 2023, William Ruto buried himself. As you prepare your bed, so you must lie on it. That is an English say. And so William Ruto has prepared his bed, he must lie on it. So the security apparatus are divided. Those who are pro-Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua are really ready to apprehend Raila Odinga. But there are those people saying that this must not happen because Raila is only but speaking for the people and fighting for the people. They understand that Raila knows what the people are going through. And so when the security men and women are divided and they cannot speak with one voice, it goes without saying that you cannot make good your threats and try to arrest Raila Odinga. Because within themselves, others will try to protect Raila. And you know what that means. You must ensure that the military is speaking with one voice if you have to deal with Raila Odinga. The magnitude of the damage to the nation is something that Kithure Kindiki is still pondering about. And this is the reason why arresting Raila almost became a fiasco yesterday. It is the same reason why, even after Kithure Kindiki has sent a 24-hour ultimatum to arrest Raila Odinga, it is not going to happen. Yesterday was almost the culmination of what has not been witnessed before. Even in William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua's strongholds, people came out and they were speaking just one language. We want the cost of living to come down. And they know that Raila Odinga is their hope. So the people who are managing the security are asking themselves, if we arrest Raila Odinga, what will happen? Do you think it will be business as usual? Even from where you sit, we all know this country. Do you think it can be business as usual if you dare arrest Raila Odinga? The country will be plunged into chaos everywhere. You'll be opening doors for looting. The police will find a rough time. You'll even shed more blood. So some of them feel that Raila should be allowed to continue the demonstrations. You'd rather have him with the people demonstrating than trying to arrest him. And that's why there was a kind of go-slow to arrest Raila Amolo Odinga. Because I'm sure it doesn't need rocket science to understand that if you arrest Raila Amolo Odinga, then even William Ruto himself might not find it easy sitting on that seat. It will be signing an exit to that of his state house. I have heard people saying that even if people like Cheregai, the senator, I have heard people like Didwas Baraza saying that nothing will happen even if you arrest Raila Amolo Odinga. And I know they are just talking maybe to please their bosses, to gain political mileage, but they know deep down themselves that you can't dare arrest Raila Amolo Odinga. And this is why it failed on Wednesday. It will still fail because they don't know what will happen. What they know is that when you arrest Raila Amolo Odinga, the people will come out in numbers, even those who did not vote for him, because he's not taking people to the streets to give him his victory this time round. He's taking them to the street. He was very clear that William Ruto must listen to them and abandon all the impunity, the punitive taxes. And this is a language that everyone understands. This is not about Raila Amolo Odinga, if you checked what happened yesterday. Because even those who did not vote for him are now coming out. So even if you arrest Raila Amolo Odinga thinking that this will quell the demonstrations, the people will come out in numbers because they are coming out not because of Raila, but they're coming out because they have realized that William Ruto hoodwinked them. They have realized that William Ruto cheated them, deceived them during the campaigns. There were machinations, and William Ruto was and is still an orator. They have given William Ruto time, but there are no signs and symptoms that things are going to get better. William Ruto had talked about the Hustler Nation. He has forgotten about the hustler in his appointments, in the way he deals with the people, increasing taxes. And so the people will come out even if you arrest Raila Amolo Odinga. And one thing that the government must understand now is that this thing is almost becoming unbearable. It is going to be beyond Raila. It will reach a time when Raila will tell them that I have called off these demonstrations and people will still go. Because they now understand in their own confession that we have realized that Raila was right all along. And they're coming out to fight for their own economic and political emancipation. Because they have realized that if they don't, then sooner or later, they will all perish. And so arresting Raila Amolo Odinga was impossible, is impossible, will be very impossible. Because if they attempt, you know the repercussions. The international community, those who gave William Ruto the win, those who installed him, will not be happy if Raila is arrested. Because they also want a strong opposition. Of late, you've seen William Ruto criticizing the international community, talking about the dollar. And so they will not be very happy if Raila is arrested. And these are some of the things that Kindiki feel. They know very well that the international community will not be very, very positive about arresting Raila Amolo Odinga. You all know that Hague is waiting. The other time Raila Amolo Odinga had complained to the international community that they were so quiet when the property of the former president Uhuru Kenyatta was being damaged. They went ahead and wrote a letter to the ICC accusing the government of using excessive force. And so the ICC is watching because they know that Kenyans is also watching with them. If they'll be very quiet when the police is damaging property. They are part and parcel of provoking those who are demonstrating peacefully. And so this is the reason why of late you have seen IG Comey not active, because he knows very well that his name was forwarded to The Hague. And so when you look at all these things, ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto is venting his anger to the people who are managing security apparatus, but it is beyond them. It is beyond Kindiki, it is beyond IG, it is beyond the Nairobi commandant, Bungei. No one will manage this because it is about the people and the high cost of living. If I were William Ruto, I would listen to the people, I would reduce the taxes, I would abandon the Finance Bill 2023.